Hey guys, Dan Heilman back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about Litecoin, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. We have two buy signals that have printed for Litecoin. We have a little bit of whale manipulation on Bitcoin, Litecoin, basically all the altcoins. I'll talk about that. We have kind of completed this golden cross on Bitcoin, which usually does lead to a pullback. So this pullback was about, what do we got going on here? This was about, so far, about a 7.8%. If we go look at the last time this happened, you can see right about here, they crossed, and then we had a 9% pullback. So pretty on par for the golden cross. It's funny because the death cross, which is the opposite cross right here, usually leads to a rally. This one led to a massive rally. And the golden cross, which is supposed to be more bullish, actually leads to a pullback, but it's only short term. So usually after this resolves, we'll see some big pumps here. So you can see here's the death cross, and we did a break up into the death cross, and then over here we have the golden cross, and we had a pullback. But then after the pullback, we ended up with, I think it's about a 60% move. I got to zoom down here. So the golden cross was here, and then the pullback, and then we had basically a 62% move in just a matter of whatever, 2 months, 3 months. So that was a pretty big move. I am thinking we're going to see something similar again. Now, some people think that we see some June, July lows. A lot of people say summer lulls, they call it, because people want to go outside. But I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get that. There's a couple other indicators. So the Camel Finance indicator, which is this green bar, is actually going to most likely pick about June 5th for the cycle low. So I have that on the chart here for Bitcoin. Cycle low right here, June 5th. So that's only a couple days from now. It's whatever, a week from now. So that'll be interesting. Another thing that played out is the bear moon. Now it's kind of funny. The moon phases, they don't always play out. The bear moon is less reliable than the bull moon. Here is the bull moon, and this one was a 10% up. Bear moon, this one did play out again. So we had the golden cross dump, and then we had the bear moon that hit, and it's literally on the day. Look at this. On the day, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 days down. 5th day right now is green, but could still finish this move. I was kind of expecting it to come down here, but of course you don't always get what you expect. It doesn't always play out that way. So moon phases are kind of interesting just to look at. And I feel like the moon phases, maybe it's not even really what's causing it. Obviously it's kind of weird, right? To say, oh, full moon, let's be crazy and, buy a bunch of cryptocurrency. It seems kind of weird, but it's kind of interesting because they kind of play into also like these cycle lows, right? So the Camel Finance indicator I have also predicts these lows, and they kind of correlate sometimes. So it's interesting. But if you look at the market cipher indicator I have here, it's still money going into Bitcoin a lot, right? So you can see this green wave right here is the money flow indicator. It's coming in, right? So cash was coming out of Bitcoin for a while, and then now it's coming back in. And you can see the buy signal, which is this green dot right here. And it's literally almost perfectly at the bottom picked here. So that's interesting. We'll look at just Ethereum real quick. Ethereum is actually right now printing a weekly cycle low and a daily cycle low. So from the last weekly cycle low, Ethereum went up 100%, 101%. So if we get another performance like that, we could easily see that. So if we kind of come down into this area, so it says the weekly cycle could be right now, or it could be all the way to about June 17th. Excuse me. So that one is kind of interesting here. This is another thing that I'm looking to open up a big trade. I have a small trade open right now just because I don't know if it's going to dip anymore. But if we do get more dippity doodah, I'm going to increase my position on ETH. Now, let's talk about Litecoin. This one is definitely interesting. And there's definitely some manipulation going on a lot of these. So even Ethereum, even Bitcoin, if I go to like the 2-hour chart, 1-hour chart, let me see, where did I see that? Yeah, here you go. These yellow X's right here on Market Cipher B. I do have an affiliate link below for Market Cipher B is an indicator. It's kind of expensive. If you want to try it, I think it's like $600 for a year. I have an affiliate link below that doesn't cost you guys anything, but it does help the channel out. It shows this manipulation. This is whale manipulation, this yellow X here. And you can see it's on these big dumps, big dumps. So this is big market makers basically taking the time to dump the price, okay? So you'll see it a lot actually on Litecoin. So if I go to Litecoin, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're just trying to hammer the price down. I kind of have a feeling that they were just trying to get this out of the bull flag. So when I talked previously about Litecoin, you can see here we've been in this bull flag and we actually broke out of it. And then I'm sure Trump said something and then we probably broke out of it again Friday-ish, and then Trump did more tariffs. Oh yeah, this was Europe tariffs right here. Boom, just destroyed after we were breaking out of the bull flag. And if I actually zoom out a little bit more, and let me just clean this up a little bit because it's kind of hard with all the indicators on here. But you can see we've had this like big kind of bull flag, and we had this inverse head and shoulders here that played out. And now we went back to retest this, and it kind of got pushed a little bit out of this. There's also been this support from all the way back here in like August of last year. And you can see we kind of broke below this. We came back above it and then broke below it again, but this was kind of fake out. And then now there's 2 buy signals that are coming up on 2 different indicators for Litecoin. So it's very interesting. I did top up on my position as we dumped down. I think I did it about $88, kind of where it's at right now. So I did add to my big position. I will show you that real quick. So here we go. Here's my Litecoin position. If you want to do any trading, I have a link below to Bitunix. It's a great exchange. If you just want to buy spot, you can get it from Bitunix, and they have very low fees, even lower fees if you use my affiliate link. And you can also leverage trade against your spot, which is really cool. You can hold Bitcoin and then do some small leverage trades against it. But we had this pullback here, and I actually closed a little bit of my position up here just because I wanted to take some profits. I had a feeling we are going to be going a little bit lower. So I closed like 25% of my position. And then when I came back a little bit lower, right on this 0.382, I actually added to my position. It's actually where we are right now. So I added more to the position. I have about $100,000 position right now. And again, my target is about $900 for Litecoin, which would be about an $875,000 profit. My stop loss is way down at 39. I don't think we're getting anywhere near there, but I just want to stop like a scam wick that could potentially liquidate my account, and that would be a 57,000 loss. So I'm gambling 57 grand to make 875 grand. It's a good bet in my mind. We may not make it at 900, but I think we're going to at least 400, 450 easily. So that is what I have going on for my trade. Feel free again to use that affiliate link below. It really helps out the channel. And let's talk about the buy signals now that we're getting on Litecoin. So if we turn on the indicators yet again, so if I go to my trading indicators, and by the way, if you don't know, on TradingView, you can actually like set up your chart how you want. And then you can go here and you can hit save indicator template. And it's really nice. Like if you want to like, all right, I want to clean up my chart. So I go to this. All right, I want to turn my trading macros on. So I go to this, but you can see we have this green window for a daily cycle low. So that means we're just past it. So the next pump should basically lock in this. So this is one buy signal. You can see right here with this big green bar, and another buy signal on the daily is we're about to get one of these dots here. So how this works on Market Cipher B, if you're not familiar with it, you're looking for a pull down here into anything past this line, okay? And then you're looking for this green dot right here. So that's a good buy signal, okay? You can see it played out right here. And then you want it to come up, reset, and you want it to come back down for a smaller pullback and another green dot, and that's your buy signal. I think we're about to get that on the daily. You can go down in time frames and you can see the 12-hour is about to print that dot. You can see it's very close. And the 4-hour has already printed it. So the 4-hour printed almost the exact bottom right here and this little red candle. If you would have bought right on this 4-hour buy signal, that would have been, you're already up 3%. So I'll show you where this played out again. So remember what I said here. You want a big dip to the downside, okay? Like right here. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you. So we'll zoom in right here. Here's what you're looking for. A big dip deep down into below this bar, a green dot. You're going to look for a reset on the top of this wave, and then a smaller trigger wave right here. Just has to be smaller than the last one, okay? Than this deep pullback. And then you can see, boom, buy signal. And you can see from right here, we basically went up about 150%. So that was a really good buy signal on the daily. You don't get these signals very often on the daily, but that's kind of one of the ones that turned out very well. You can see it only pulled back about 6% from when it printed this right here. So And it depends on where you bought in the candle. Actually, if you bought from the bottom of the candle, it only went back 4%. So usually you want to set your stop loss below this last wick. So you would have set your stop loss down here. You would not have hit your stop loss anywhere. You would have had to wait for a while, but this is a daily signal. So this is like a long-term bullish signal, right? So, and then you can see, boom. It also printed the weekly cycle low on the Camel Finance indicator, which is a double confirmation. I really like that. Both of these indicators are kind of expensive. But I get to write it off in taxes because I have a YouTube channel, etc. So it makes a little more sense for me. I talk about these all the time, these buy signals, and I try to do them fairly quickly so you guys can see it. But actually, Litecoin also had a manipulation on the daily. That is very uncommon. That means this huge, massive dump was all literal whale manipulation, right? So Litecoin has kind of a relatively small market cap, which means there's, you know, a lot of room for upside, but it's also a lot of room for market manipulation. So if you don't know, market manipulators like Wintermute, who works with Binance, they like to dump the price and liquidate a bunch of people because that's more money for the exchange. They can also get coins from the exchange and they can dump them, market sell on the open market like this. You can see a huge volume on that sell right here, and they can dump the price and then they can just buy it back cheaper and send it back to the exchange. So it's kind of messed up, but it definitely happens, especially now that the SEC isn't really looking into anyone, now that they're more lenient. So that's what we got going on. I think we're about to get a buy signal right here, and that will be another signal, especially if we even move up just back into this channel. And especially if we get back into this channel here, we do have a little bit of a pullback, but don't forget, we've had a big move. We also have this indicator right here. This blue triangle says a reversal. So you can see we have been below the moving average. And then once we come up here, this is a reversal signal saying, all right, we're back above the moving averages and it's time to turn around and go back up. So if we can get back up into these channels, you can see, look at all the resistance we have here. It's very normal to get rejected here because we have the bull flag right here. We have the bigger bull flag, and then we have this long-term resistance support line that we've been tracking all the way again since last year, right? So we have a lot of different lines going on here, a lot of resistance at this crossing point. But as soon as we get back above this point, I think we're going to see some bigger moves to the upside. So if you're looking to get back into a Litecoin position, I know this kind of looks like a breakdown, but as I said, I think this is really manipulation, right? I mean, you can see two big bars down to push us out of the bull flag. So if this manipulation would not have happened, we might have just held support down here at the bottom of this bull flag and it would have looked more bullish. I think this is to get people out of their position. Again, we have a potential ETF coming very soon. Could happen in June, July. I think it's like maybe August or September at the latest. So, and you can see the money flow now is money coming out of the asset, but it made a lower low and now it looks like it's going to start moving back up in, okay? If you look at the daily, we're actually just hovering right around, you know, we had money coming in, money coming out, in, out. So usually once we get back into these green phases, they can run a very long time. So you can see you have into the red, meaning money going out. And then you can see a couple swaps, you know, red, green, red, green, red, green, and then back into the green. It's kind of what we got going on here. So red, green, and then red, green, and then maybe we'll push back into the green here, especially if we get some more price action coming back up. So I think Litecoin is going to be blasting off here real soon. I don't know why I'm out of breath right now. I was just running up the stairs and doing a bunch of laundry and stuff with my, just put my toddler down for bed. So for some reason I'm a little bit winded right now, but, and I'm talking kind of quick, but anyways, virtuals, I have a trade open right now. We're kind of rejecting off the bottom of this, but I'm going to leave this open for a little bit. And I also have a couple of these other trades open, DOT, NEO, etc. DOT holding back above that $4 mark. Again, more manipulation. You can see it on a lot of coins. ETC. So this is Ethereum Classic, the old Ethereum. It hit my buy signal of about $17. So I opened a trade here and then boom, market manipulation, blasted it back down. Again, buy signal on the 2 hour. Let's look at the daily. Again, kind of the same thing here. So we have a big pullback past the line. We have some resetting that's being done. And if this ends up being a smaller pullback and another green dot, that's going to be another big buy signal. I mean, look at this candle on the daily as well. So it got pushed way down, back up. XTZ kind of in the same spot. A lot of these altcoins are in the same spot right now. So it's very interesting. The only one that looks different is Ton because this one has already had some kind of big moves. It is developing some sort of a flag. Sometimes that's a continuation pattern, so that would be bad because it's going down. But I don't know, actually, maybe not, because if you look at this, maybe it's technically we've been going up. I don't know. That one's hard to say, but Ton has had some good price movement. So that's what we got going on. I was going to open a Mu trade. I did have a Mu trade open. I got stopped out. And now, of course, right after it hit my stop loss, it's going back up. So that's unfortunate. And Crow is actually having some good moves here, which is another interesting one. I hold a lot of Crow on crypto.com. I do have affiliate link down for crypto.com. You can try it out, but I don't really super recommend crypto.com. There's a lot of fees. There's a big spread. I like Bitunix way more, but crypto.com is a little bit more mainstream exchange. But if you also look at, let's go look at it has an indicator for a weekly cycle low on Crow Bitcoin. So again, could still be a good trade. And Crow does have some really big upside. It's an exchange token, Binance, Crow. A lot of those do really well, but usually more towards the end of the bull market. But if I zoom out, this is the weekly. I mean, look at that. This is the range I've been tracking, and we just hit the bottom of this range a couple different times, and it has a weekly cycle low. Look at last time we had a weekly cycle low. 170% against Bitcoin. And we could easily move up back into this range, which would be quite massive. So that one's interesting. We'll look at the Litecoin, Bitcoin as well while I'm in here. And boom, we just kind of made, it's, you know, but if you just ignore this wild wick right here on the weekly, we did, and you look at all the manipulation, my God, on the weekly, look at all that. That's all manipulation. That's all manipulation from whales. Isn't that garbage? So we were kind of stabilized right here, and then it just got push. It's such a small market cap, it's easy to manipulate the price, which is really unfortunate. But we kind of did a double bottom, and sometimes you sweep the last low to kind of get the stop losses out of there, right? Because, you know, people will often place their stop loss right below the last low. And then we swept it, which usually means that we can see some big upside now. So we'll see. It's still waiting for a daily cycle low, which is kind of interesting. So it says all the way back here, we're waiting for it. I'm not sure why the Camel Finance Indicator didn't pick that. It's not tuned for these, all these different assets. So, you know, maybe it's just that. But yeah, looking real bullish for a lot of these altcoins here. We could see something. I'm expecting maybe another low by June 5th, or we could just continue to ignore it and continue going up. But Litecoin, again, double, triple buy signals. We had a lot of, you know, a manipulation going on. So we have a lot of buy signals for Litecoin. If we get back into this bull flag, I think we're going to see a nice big launch out of here. You can see we have not had another cycle low. It failed the cycle low right here. You can see right here, it failed it. That's why it's highlighted in green for the Camel Finance Indicator. So usually when you get these cycle lows, you know, this one, it was probably one of the worst ones, and it's still 15%. This one right here was a massive one. Again, 70%. So could see a big pump. Oh God, let's not move that. That's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you want to try out why can't I say that word? Market Cipher B. I have an affiliate link below. If you want to join Bitunix, I have an affiliate link below that really reduces your fees, and they already have low fees. So it's a great exchange. You can just buy stuff off there. If you just want to send your Litecoin to cold storage, you can buy spot. Or you can leverage trade if you want to leverage trade against any of your stuff. If you're leverage trading for the first time, be very careful. Use very low position sizes and very low leverage. Do not risk your whole account. And that's all the advice I have. I have a risk video as well if you want to check that out. It's really important if you want to try leverage trading for the first time. That's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great day, everyone. See you guys.